I will be very brief on a few points. One is there is obviously a legitimate concern and legitimate need, both at the private side, innovators, conventional financial institutions, but also disruptors. And there is also a genuine concern at the regulator's side. And both have legitimate concerns and both needs to be understood and need to work together. I think the societies, the businesses are calling for more innovation. There are a lot of benefits for innovation. We have seen actually tremendous benefits to societies, to inclusiveness, to dealing with issues, dealing with risks, from that actually innovation helps with. But at the same time, regulators need to be cautious. They are cautious by nature. They need to make sure that financial stability is not impacted. They need to ensure that risks are mitigated to the extent possible. So for that to work, you will need both. And then on the other side, I think conventional financial institutions, as possibly some of the headlines of this session is saying, are really rushing to innovate under pressure, because these challenging innovators are really bringing a new ways of doing business that these conventional institutions will need to deal with, will need to innovate to catch up, will need to make sure that they are not left behind. So that balance will need to play, and I think there will need to be this dialogue between private and public sector for this to work for the benefit of all. And I think the regulators under the G20, if you recall, in 2020 when it was in Saudi Arabia, framing the regulatory function to deal with the digital era was part of the priorities, and this was carried through until today. There were a lot of initiatives under the G20 that has been taken by multilateral institutions to help deal with this. Obviously, you will need a space for innovators. You will need to provide, as regulators, sandbox environments for them to try in live operating function what they are doing and their innovation. But it will need to be regulated. Otherwise, it could actually pose a risk on financial stability, pose a risk on actually societies. And we have seen people losing a lot of money when you are not too careful with the regulatory framework.